This February can be called record-setting. A local weather observer in New Hope recorded more than 26 inches of snow, breaking the previous mark set back in 1962. This record-breaking February weather has created mixed feelings here in the northwest suburbs. Eric Nelson explains.
This is just unbelievable.
The February flakes keep on falling, and Wednesday's storm set a new monthly record.
It's just been like every 2-3 days we get a system coming through. And it doesn't happen often, but it does happen once in a while. And that's what we're in right now.
Mounds of snow are everywhere, and for some people this adds to their winter woes. For others, the new powder creates a winter wonderland.
This is wonderful. But what more can you ask for?
On one New Hope block, we found snow lovers and snow haters. Jada Nelson is a snow hater.
I cannot do the snow. I do not like this. I have to shovel and I can't drive in this, and it is just so much for me.
The only bright spot for Jada is that she can shovel snow in her Crocs and not get frostbite.
They're comfortable. They're the fuzzy Crocs, so it's nice. I can stay warm and still shovel.
Across the street, Jada's neighbor John Viner is a snow lover who embraces winter.
Everything, snowmobiling, skiing, all the outdoor activities. I'd rather take this over 50 below, that's for sure, any day.
We meet again.
Meanwhile, CCX weather watcher Steve Reckers has had enough measuring for 1 month and is flying from MSP to Las Vegas today if the weather permits.
We're supposed to leave at 2:20, and I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm sure that won't happen.
Now the forecast calls for more snow this weekend, which would put the February totals at over 30 inches, making it one of the snowiest months in the history of the northwest suburbs. In New Hope, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
A data breach that impacted Dunn Brothers coffee shops also impacted the Pittsburgh Blue Steakhouse in Maple Grove. The problem was traced to a point-of-sale system hosted by a company based in Bemidji. The security flaw has since been fixed, but it serves as a reminder to regularly check your bank and credit card statements for suspicious activity. Robbinsdale takes the first step to raising the legal age to buy tobacco to 21. The measure passed at its first reading at Tuesday night's City Council meeting 4-1. Councilmember Pat Backen was the lone no vote. If adopted, the proposal would also restrict the sale of e-cigarettes to tobacco shops and could restrict sales of mint, menthol, and wintergreen flavored tobacco products.
The shame in all this is that the state won't deal with it. That would fix all of this. Every city has, not every city, but every city that chooses to, has to go through this process so that the state eventually can do this instead of just doing it like they should.
For me, it boils down to 18-year-olds are considered adults. They can, as George mentioned, go to war, they can get married. They can buy a house legally. They're certainly held, you see our police officers here, they're certainly held to an adult standard when they're 18. And I just think it's to restrict their ability to buy something that is legal just is a little bit full of hypocrisy.
Final approval could happen March 19th. The city of Golden Valley is taking steps to restrict future gun sales. To do that, the City Council approved new zoning regulations. By a 4-1 vote, the city approved restricting the location of firearms businesses to just industrial areas. Current zoning allowed them in commercial areas. It is important to note no gun shop currently exists in Golden Valley, nor has there been any indication of one trying to move there. The idea, according to city officials, is to be proactive and move potential firearm sales farther away from greater concentrations of people, similar to where sexually oriented businesses are regulated. Councilmember Steve Smidgall was the lone no vote. He believes the city should not be involved in the gun debate. Providence Academy senior Maggie Murphy makes balancing athletics and academics look easy. In today's Standout student, reporter Sonia Goins shows us how she's making major moves on and off the basketball court.
So if you make an octahedral, that will be our electron domain. So go ahead and put 4 around that, as far apart as you can get them on the plane without being too close to another one.
The chemistry lab is one of Maggie Murphy's favorite places to be.
And then you put one of those on each of them.
Solving complicated problems is what drives her passion.
Chemistry problems, when you work them, they seem kind of impossible at the beginning, and then once you start getting through, you see the pattern, you see like the rhythm of it. Once you get to the end, it's really satisfying.
There are a lot of things that make Miss Murphy so special, and I've been blessed to get to teach her for 2 years.
Chemistry teacher Susan Beverton says Murphy is very intentional in her pursuit for excellence.
Her intellectual curiosity and her abilities are going to put her in a place where she's going to be very competitive.
The top student is also making major moves on the basketball court. The captain of the Lions basketball team was named IMAC Conference Athlete of the Month for December.
I was shocked. I really didn't even know. My coach texted me. He's like, hey, congrats, like you got IMAC Player of the Month. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I didn't even know I was nominated.
The senior forward reached 1,000 career points on February 1st with her 16-point performance against St. Paul Academy.
It was a really cool moment just because that was one of my goals since I started playing basketball.
Off the field, she's a volunteer at the birthing center at Maple Grove Hospital.
Being in the family birth center is so cool because there's babies all the time.
She's not exactly certain how she'll use her talents in the future, but she says it'll be something in the medical field. For Standout student Sonia Goins, CCX News.
This February weather has many longing for spring. And then there are those in Brooklyn Center who are working on their golf game despite the snowy weather. This is the scene at Topgolf. The company said they'd be open in all kinds of weather, including a snowstorm. Topgolf did close a couple of days last month because of dangerous wind chills. The snow, however, no problem. And the venue perhaps provided a few stir-crazy parents with an opportunity to get out of the house, with schools in the CCX viewing area closed on Wednesday.
The Maple Grove girls hockey team opens play in the state Class AA tournament on Thursday night. Here's Jason Malillo with a state tourney preview of the Crimson.
Toward the end of the regular season, Maple Grove head coach Amber Hegland saw her team change.
About 3 weeks ago, really turned the corner just on learning to play gritty and willing things to happen, and that's exactly what happened in both the Blaine game and the Centennial game. I walked into the locker room after the second period of the Centennial game, and one of our seniors was saying, "We're not losing." So they're determined, and they will a whole bunch of things to happen, and they're counting on one another, and they look to one another, and they're really understanding how to play as a team, and that when we play as a team we can be more successful than we can be as individuals.
We've grown a lot throughout the season. I think that earlier we were kind of, at the end of the games, we were almost not getting lucky, but we were winning games that now we learned that we had to be gritty to win them. So yeah, we've grown a lot, and we've grown a lot more in confidence, so that's helped a lot.
The Crimson has also been more consistent, and their overall progression culminated in beating Centennial for the Section 5 AA championship.
It was unbelievable. I mean, half of the time I was like laughing, I was so happy, and then other times I was crying, I was so happy. Like all of our seniors were crying at some point, I think. It was just an emotional roller coaster pretty much, but it was such an amazing feeling.
Fourth-seeded Maple Grove will square off against Minnetonka in the quarterfinals. The Crimson beat the Skippers in overtime in the regular season.
They have a lot of good defense, a lot of good forwards. They have a good goalie too, so it's going to be hard to get pucks past her, but we're confident going into it. We know we just got to get pucks in net and keep crashing for rebounds.
I think our biggest thing is we have a lot of speed on our team, and we have a lot of people that can just blow by defensemen, and so I think that we'll definitely use that to our advantage.
This is only the second time a Maple Grove girls hockey team has made the state tournament. The first was in 2016 when the Crimson lost in the championship game. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Maple Grove and Minnetonka will play the late game on Thursday at XL Energy Center. Puck drop is scheduled for 8 o'clock. Despite heavy snow, the state Class A girls hockey tournament got underway Wednesday morning in St. Paul. Breck is the number 2 seed and the defending state champions, taking on Fergus Falls in the quarterfinals. Breck's number 23, Catherine Solohub, gets a shot just under the Fergus Falls crossbar and in for a goal. Mustangs lead 1-0, just 2:13 into the game. The Otters play Breck tough, but Olivia Mobley's goal with just over a minute to play in the game helped seal a 2-0 Breck win. The Mustangs play in the semifinals Friday morning at the XL Center. Hopkins and St. Louis Park are a co-op program in girls hockey. The boys teams from those high schools, though, are section rivals, and they met up in an opening round game in the 6AA tournament. On a power play, Hopkins strikes. Henry Sweeney pulls up and feeds it to Jack Slattery. His first try is blocked, but he follows up to score the first goal of the game. It's 1-0 Royals in the second. A turnover cost St. Louis Park. Thomas Gazich goes to a knee, but gets the pass to Sam Haberman for the shot and goal. Royals take a 2-0 lead into the second intermission. In the third period, Sweeney carries it up the left side and puts the shot away. It looks like Hopkins is on the way to a win with a 3-0 lead, but it's not over yet. A bad turnover cost the Royals. Drew Boyum buries the shot. That pulls the Orioles within 3-1. McCabe Dvorak emerges from the corner and zips a shot in for another unassisted goal, and they're within 3-2. And they fight back for the tie. The pass gets over to the right wing, and Austin Emelsi buries the shot. It's 3-3, and we are headed to overtime. In OT, Hopkins kills off 2 penalties, and then they get a 3-on-1 break. Gazich scores the game winner, and Hopkins wins a wild one 4-3. That win puts Hopkins into the quarterfinals Thursday against top seed Edina at Braemar Arena. Also, Blake hosts Creighton-Durham Hall. 6th seed Armstrong Cooper takes on Wayzata, and Benilde hosts Holy Angels. More news in a moment.